By the way, Greg, a pretty big week around here. We have the mock draft coming out from the Six Rings podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Shine
All
will,
Shine, when is your mock draft collab coming out?
So that's tomorrow. The Six Rings boys, myself, Andy Hart, Nick Fitzy Stevens, as well as a special guest. Which will be revealed when it's dropped.
Is it Max Lane?
No, it's not Max Lane.
Is it Dante Scarnecchia?
It is not, no. Dante would be really good, though. Would have been a really good evaluator. But no, that mock draft is going to be dropping tomorrow, I believe.
All right.
Okay.
And one mock that dropped today, which is usually pretty good. I mean, obviously nobody's right all the time. But Peter King, he does it based on what he's hearing, not what he would do.
Yeah.
So his draft is out. Obviously, Bryce Young going with number 1. Tyree Wilson, the edge rusher, is going to Houston, which I would be shocked.
Picking up a lot of steam.
Tennessee's trading up with Arizona to take C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
Will Levis for Indy. 5 is Seattle taking Jalen Carter out of Georgia, where you went to school, Wiggs. Detroit, Will Anderson, edge rusher out of Alabama.
Wait, that has Will Levis 4?
4 to the Colts.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems a little rich for my blood, but continue.
Devin Witherspoon, quarterback out of Illinois. That's a guy to keep your eye on. Look for the Illinois products and Bill Belichick, with Brett Bielema being the head coach there.
Okay.
Atlanta, Bijan Robinson, obviously the big running back. 9, Paris Johnson Jr., the tackle that I thought the Patriots might take. Ohio State to the Bears. 10, Philadelphia is getting Nolan Smith. Arizona taking Christian Gonzalez. Houston taking Hendon Hooker. Wiggy, you had talked about him, the quarterback out of Tennessee.
Yep.
Broderick Jones, the tackle, going 13 to the Jets, is a guy a lot of people have liked with the Patriots. And then at 14, Peter King has the Patriots taking a tackle/guard out of Northwestern, Peter Skronsky.
Peter Skronsky is arguably the best lineman in the draft. However, I don't think he has the measurables that'll play tackle in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a little short, right?
His arms are a little short. Yeah.
Where's Zay Flowers fall on that list?
They're saying Zay Flowers might go first round.
Late.
Yeah, I think I want to say.
Right around the Chargers at 20.
Yeah.
Peter King has Zay Flowers going to the Seahawks at number 20.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I
don't like this.
Peter's list, but
I don't like this at all.
Did you say Anthony Richardson there?
He's going 23rd to the Vikings on Peter King.
I would bet dollars to donuts or all of Greg's money in his FanDuel account that Anthony Richardson goes before Will Levis.
Wow.
I don't believe that Will Levis will go before Anthony Richardson.
See,
I refuse to believe
I'm
that.
not even buying that because unless who's that? You said Mike Lombardi?
That's Peter
King. Excuse me. All of a sudden now Anthony Richardson has fallen and Hendon Hooker has leapfrogged.
Oh, yeah, that's another guy. There's no way Hendon Hooker goes before Anthony Richardson.
Hendon Hooker's coming off an ACL injury, and the fact that he's leapfrogged Anthony Richardson where nobody has I thought, look out for Hendon Hooker. If he didn't get hurt, I think you can make a clear argument that he could have went somewhere top 10. But because of the injury, that obviously lets him slide. That's why I'm not buying this one bit.
I still don't understand why Bill went out of his way to do the Will Levis visit.
I just think it was so people would wonder about it.
You think so?
I really do.
Really? You think he's doing that?
There was really nothing written about it after the fact, though. It was weird.
It was talked. It was the number 1 story nationally for about 2 days. I mean, and the other thing is that if Ken brought this up to me, and I think he might be right, if Anthony Richardson is there at 14, I could see them taking him.
Right.
Like, that guy, that's almost too good to be true. I think he's going to be a stud.
And I feel like Bill has done this before where he's brought in guys that you knew they had no chance of drafting, but it's some weird thing that they say, oh, they're just getting intel on this person.
Remember they brought Tim Tebow in and they got dinner in the North End before the draft?
Yeah, I just can't picture them drafting. I really like Peter Skronsky. I don't like him for New England, though, just because, you're just doing the Isaiah Wynn thing over again, which is just asking for people to ridicule you. Like, if you're going to take a tackle, you're taking Darnell
Wright,
Ohio
State.
Paris Johnson Jr., or Broderick Jones. Like, those are the 3 guys. If they take either of them, makes a lot of sense.
And the other reason why I think you get ripped for this, and I wasn't sure because Curtis was going through that list, but I almost felt like I didn't hear one wide receiver's name. Right? So you're sitting there at 14, and you're telling me there's a guy like the kid Quentin Johnson out of TCU.
You won't get drafted till late.
Right, but you're telling me the kid from Ohio State, Smith and Jigba, they're all sitting there. Zay Flowers is another kid sitting there at 14, and you need a legitimate wide receiver and you're willing to pass on that to get a
They
offensive.
also need O-line help.
But you just drafted an
Clearly.
offensive lineman last year.
Yeah, but you drafted a guard. You need tackles now because you got rid of Isaiah Wynn. You signed Riley Reef, but that's to backup money. And to be honest with you, Wiggy, the wide receiver class, it is lackluster compared to what we've seen
But
the
I
last few
almost
years.
feel like
these guys are not nearly as highly touted.
I understand that, but I almost feel like you can get a solid, good tackle in the second round that can pan into being a really, really good player. But if you hit on a wide receiver, very similar to what we saw with the Vikings, if you hit on a guy like Justin Jefferson at 14 or a player of that who pans out to be
Or
good.
N'Keal Harry or
Ooh,
something
I
like
love N'Keal.
Yeah, that's the roll of the dice. That is. But what if it turns out to be DK Metcalf?
And you can't argue with this logic of the Twitch chat from Charlie Don't Surf. There's no way Bill doesn't take a project. I don't know what that means.
Like somebody who
This just can't never happen in a playoff game.
the question I would ask, if you were going to roll the dice on a position, I would rather roll the dice on a receiver, even if I missed on one a couple years ago, than I would on an offensive lineman. Because, in my opinion, a receiver is going to be more valuable for your team's success than an offensive lineman.
Let me bring up the guy that you can't stand, Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Which of those positions, if you draft for it, helps him more?
Receiver. Right then and there. Receiver
think
helps
so?
him now. Yep. Because if you have a good offensive line and you got nobody to throw to, what the hell's the difference? And I forget who talked about this, and it's such a fact. If you look at these teams playing the Super Bowl, what are they always saying? Kansas City's O-line stinks.
Yeah.
This one's O-line stinks. But yet, these O-line stinks, and we talked about it with Brady, but if you got playmakers at quarterback and receiver, you know what you could do? You can get to the Super Bowl. You never hear a team going, oh, they got a great offensive line, but no weapons.
Yeah.
But, Wiggy, here's the issue. Why would you trust Bill to do something he's never been able to do?
That's a very good point.
Especially in a class that doesn't have elite talent.
I understand that, but my only point is when you look at teams that are successful, in the Super Bowl, you never really hear they saying, "Oh, they have such a great offensive line and no weapons." No, I'd rather have a shoddy offensive line with either a legitimate quarterback or legitimate playmakers.
All right, Shime, your mock draft drops tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay.
On
And then
WEEI.com.
Thursday night. Are you on the air here?
Yeah, I believe I will be joining Rich Keefe, Andy Hart, and Nick Fitzstevens for some draft talk.
Okay.
I
Draft
can't wait to see
snacks
Shime.
I heard Keefe mention last week that it's going to be a potluck, so I need to come up with something good to bring.
When-
You ready to be cooking?
I know what you
No.
shouldn't- I
I'm
know
going to
what
buy
you-
something. And
I
bring
know
it.
what you
Let's be
shouldn't
smart.
bring.
I won't be bringing potatoes.
Starts with P and ends with
I was thinking-
potato.
I was thinking I might bring egg rolls. Greg, are you a big fan of egg rolls?
Oh,
Not an egg roll, but I
do
mean,
like egg rolls.
What's in them?
Well,
you saying traditional?
Place by me has like you can get like a platter of egg rolls. You can do like buffalo chicken,
Fabio's
cheeseburger,
mentioned in three,
taco,
two.
spinach and
Yes.
feta.
Yum.
Nice mix.
Davio's has the best
Spring
steak
rolls.
and cheese egg rolls.
They do.
Yeah, so Shime, that's a good call.
You're going to get a nice big hog of cheddar, sharp cheddar.
Oh, I'm going to be gnawing on some cheddar and pepperoni during the draft.
All right. We'll be here for that Thursday night.